Magic Hour Talk Show, episode 25. Yes, 25. Well, of course, I didn't do my research on that, but got a few things, not too much. There's so much election stuff going on right now that I don't know. People are really kind of ignoring, entertainment and whatnot. So let's get started. I want to update about the so-called Soho Karen. I was actually waiting for her to be arrested before I updated you guys about what had happened with her. They've identified her. Turns out she is a resident of California, so likely she's not going to be charged with anything. I don't think they're going to extradite her because they released another video of her, and I cannot find her name. I guess these are some older articles I read. But they're not going to extradite her, probably because nobody was really hurt. So I don't think she'll be coming to New York anytime soon. But they released this video. If you have any doubt that she assaulted this kid, here's the evidence.
This morning, new footage shows the shocking moment when a woman tackles the teenage son of a prominent black musician after wrongly accusing the boy of stealing her phone. Released overnight by the New York City Police Department, the surveillance video shows the woman rush 14-year-old Keon Harold Jr. in the Arlo Hotel on Saturday.
No, I'm not letting him walk away with my phone!
Initial video of the heated confrontation posted on Instagram by Keon's outraged father quickly went viral earlier this week.
Get my phone back! I cannot not have my phone!
Get your Harold, speaking at a rally Wednesday with civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump, said he and his son were the victims of racial profiling.
And I can't even come downstairs in New York City, prime New York City, and just go get brunch without being attacked and wrong.
Okay, I just want to stop here. Why is he carrying his trumpet? Ben Crump, this lawyer right here, he is all over the place. I think he's representing the family of Breonna Taylor, as where I think Eric Gardner's family too. He also represented this grandma who got arrested at Walt Disney World for having CBD oil. So he's not, and she's a white woman, so he's not exclusively for black clients. He's just for aggrieved people all over the country. But I just thought it was kind of weird. This guy comes to the press conference with his trumpet.
Wrongfully accused of something.
The famed trumpeter and Crump are calling on the district attorney to bring assault and battery charges against the woman, plus a civil rights investigation into the Arlo Hotel.
The idea of trauma goes above any charge that could ever be had. I want my son to grow up whole.
The NYPD now asking for the public's help in locating the woman shown in the video. The woman withholding her identity, talking to CNN over the phone on Tuesday, claiming she was the victim, and had also asked another individual in the hotel about her phone before running into Harold. Police say the woman's phone was found in an Uber and that the case is not being investigated as a bias incident. NBC News was unable to make contact with the woman and does not know what happened before or after the video. The hotel in a statement has apologized to the Harolds and added that while a manager on duty did quickly call police, more should have been done to de-escalate the situation as the search continues for the woman seen in the video.
Well, they found her, but I think her name is Maya Ponsetto. Oh, here's something I hadn't read before. She was having an anxiety attack. Oh, well, that's obvious. She was having an anxiety attack. I'm going to go ahead out on a limb and say she has some screws loose because some stuff came out about her that she has a history of this kind of behavior. She also has a tendency to get drunk and lash out at people. She was a scared girl alone in a city she doesn't know and lost her one point of contact for her numbers. She lost her mind for a hot minute. She is sorry. Who is saying that? I guess her lawyer. That phone could have been in the hand of a 90-year-old grandma, an Asian person, someone black or blue. It wasn't a race-related issue. And okay. I might get flamed for this. I'm going to have to say I agree with that assessment because CNN did an interview with her. And basically, oh, here it is. While the 22-year-old woman claimed she was assaulted during the altercation, she was not assaulted. CNN hasn't been able to corroborate her account with investigators or with the hotel where the incident took place. In a 20-minute phone interview, she said the incident unfolded after she first demanded to see the hotel surveillance video to try to pinpoint who may have taken her phone. Okay, so in my last video, I was talking about how I didn't think she had already left the hotel. I thought she was checking in. It seems like the father in this incident was right. She did return to the hotel because her phone was missing. She says it right here. She says she did ask someone else in the hotel lobby to empty their pocket. Who the hell does this woman think she is? Before ultimately confronting Kenyon Harold Jr., who she maintained had her phone in his pocket. So she's got some screw looses. Because listen, she leaves the hotel. She's missing her phone. She comes back. She demands to see the surveillance video, which I guess the hotel allowed her to see. And she asked somebody in the hotel lobby. Now, she could be lying. I don't know. But why would you admit something so dumb? This makes her look even worse. You're going to tell somebody to empty their pockets? I guess she's trying to prove that she's not a racist. So maybe she is a racist. So maybe this is kind of unbelievable. Just the fact, if that is true, though, she's got some screw loose. She's walking around trying to be a cop. And even CNN called her out. They say throughout the phone call, the woman's account of the incident was rambling at times. She provided additional information of events preceding and unrelated to the incident that CNN has been unable to confirm. When asked whether she's concerned about possibly facing charges and overall how she is portrayed in the video, she said, "Of course I worry. That's not who I am. I actually try very hard to make sure that I am always doing the right thing." Okay, so, and this is the father in case I didn't show you saw him in the video. But he got scratched by her and the kid got tackled, but come on, nobody got hurt. I do think she should be charged, but they're not going to charge her because the price of extraditing her to New York to face charges is just not worth it. In this article, it says that NYPD is planning to lay assault charges against the woman. The NYPD told Gothamist that they had positively identified the woman in a question and are now trying to find her, but will not release her name publicly. And of course, we've already found out. I've read elsewhere that she's from Simi Valley, I think. The Harold family is now being represented by civil rights lawyer Ben Crump, who has launched a petition calling for the Manhattan District Attorney to file charges of assault and battery against the unidentified woman. The family is set to meet with the DA today. They are calling for a civil rights investigation into the hotel where the incident took place. The video of the altercation shows a hotel manager demanding that Harold's son hand over his phone in response to the woman's claim that it was hers. So I'm less sympathetic to the hotel manager now. If she indeed came into that hotel, demand to see the surveillance video, told somebody to empty their pockets. If this hotel manager was watching all this, if it was true, I don't know if it was actually true. If he was watching all this, he has none of my sympathy because it should have been obvious to him that she had some screws loose. So that's where we are. Just happy she didn't have a gun or something. She might have freaking shot these people. This makes my blood boil. The fact that there are people out here like this. Oh, so that's Soho Karen. She is indeed crazy. I'm going to go ahead and call it out now. There's something wrong with this woman. She needs help. I hope she gets the help she needs. After she's prosecuted, of course. I really do think she needs to be prosecuted. Because this stuff has to stop, man. Moving on. Zack Snyder and the Snyder Cut. It's an interesting story on comicbook.com. They pulled some information from a YouTube video where Zack Snyder is doing an interview with a YouTube channel called Comic Book Debate. And he's talking about Superman's black suit. One of the persistent rumors in the run-up to Justice League was that Superman would return from the dead wearing the black Kryptonian recovery suit introduced during the reign of Superman storyline in the comics. So yes, this suit was introduced in the comics, I think a number of times. It made sense given that Reign followed the Doomsday Death of Superman arc, which was the basis for the bloody battle in the final moments of Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice. But it didn't happen. Fans were split on the issue since it's a cool suit and was teased in the Man of Steel. Now, I didn't even notice this, that he was wearing a suit in the Man of Steel. I went back and watched it. And indeed, he is wearing that suit during that scene where Zod is talking to him in like the dream sequence, and he's like standing on all these skulls. He is wearing a black suit. It's kind of hard to see the way it's framed and the way the lighting is, but yes, he's wearing that black suit. I just thought, it was just dark and that the light wasn't hitting it, but he was wearing a black suit. Anyway, we already know the story behind this. The black suit was going to appear in Snyder's original cut, but Josh Whedon came in and reshot a lot of stuff and probably omitted it. So we never got the black suit. But now the black suit is back, and Zack Snyder actually gives a couple of reasons for bringing it back. Here's the quote. "I was always very strong advocate for the black suit," Snyder told Comic Book Debate on YouTube. "I really wanted the black suit. It made sense for me because Superman is a character notoriously who does not grow." I think he's kind of right about that, because let me just say, a lot of people did not like Man of Steel. I liked it just because he did something different with the character. He challenged us with the idea that what if Superman had to kill? Now, some people say that whole scene where Zod is about to kill the little family, all they had to do was move out the way. And if you kind of go back and watch, it's not really true. They're like trapped in like a corner. It looks like they're in Grand Central Station. Of course, it's Metropolis, but they probably shot it in New York. But they could have conceivably got away, but it's not as simple if you go back and watch that scene. So a lot of people had a problem with that. I think he framed Superman to fit the times. The whole thing with his father telling him not to come out because, it would cause a lot of problems. And indeed, it would. We got so many Christian fundamentalists in this country. If somebody like Superman came out of the woodwork, it would cause a lot of problems with people's belief in God. I mean, maybe I don't know, it might go the opposite way. Maybe they would even worship him as a Jesus-like figure. So I like the fact that Snyder tackled all those issues. A lot of people didn't like that. They wanted Superman to be this goody two-shoes. And I kind of like what he did. Now, Batman v Superman was kind of dumb, but I thought Man of Steel was a solid movie. Now, there was some problems I had with it, the science in it, but I won't go into that. I'm not doing a review. Let me continue. He is like a rock and everything just smashes against him, and we learn about ourselves by trying to change a thing that's unchangeable. That's really the old way, the old Superman, whereas I felt like my Superman had to at every step sort of level up and learn something and be something different, because in the end, the idea or what I had planned was that the final step for Superman was his real return, or his real coming into what I would consider the classic Superman. We don't really get it in this movie, the classic Superman. I also feel like the black suit is a great time delineator. So if you see a flashback or a flash forward, him in the black suit lets you know where you are in the time, because it's very particular to this certain arc. So I always was excited about using the black suit to kind of lock us in to when he goes from the black suit back to the red and blue suit, and then when he's in the red and blue suit, what that means, and when actually goes back to it, what does it mean? And it goes on to say the costume first appeared in 1993's reign of Superman, has fascinated fans since his first appearance, and has been riffed on, experimented with, and redone a couple of times since, in spite of the fact that it was created for a single specific story. I guess the thought behind the black suit is that black attracts sunlight, and Superman gets his power from our sun, so a black suit would help him recharge a lot faster than his regular suit. The actual costume, which was designed by then Superman, the Man of Steel artist John Bogadovi, first appeared in Action Comics 689, featuring an arc by Jackson Butch Gooch. We were always looking for big stories to do with Superman, and those usually involve the idea of changing up the status quo in some way. Jurgens told Comic.com during an interview last year, we had discussed the general idea of a costume change back when we brought him back from the dead, and of course, that was part of the inspiration for the all-black costume. And they go on to talk about some other comic books where he was incorporated versions of the suit. I won't read all of it. Just go check this out if you can find it on comicbook.com. They talk about Josh Whedon messing up Snyder's vision and Snyder having to leave the movie after his daughter committed suicide, and that the movie really didn't make back the money they spent on it. But it's supposed to debut on HBO Max in March. I can't wait to see this version, man. It looks great. I feel like that Josh Whedon just butchered that film, and I really, really want to see Zack Snyder's vision, especially after being disappointed with Wonder Woman 1984. My God, was that movie terrible? And the third one has already been greenlit, so whatever. Moving on, Jordan Peele. Now this article is a little bit old, 2 days old. Jordan Peele and Bradley Whitford of Get Out fame. Bradley Whitford was in Get Out. They're down in Georgia pushing the vote down there. And spoilers, Raphael Warnock and the white guy that was running in Georgia, I think they both won. Now, it's up in the air whether who's that game? Ossoff or something? Yeah, but they both won, so looks like the Democrats are going to get control of the Senate. So I guess Jordan Peele helped with this, but I don't want to get into politics, but it just goes into Jordan Peele's success with Get Out. It made $255 million on a $5 million budget. Whoa, that's a lot of money. And Us also made some money. The interesting part of this for me is that Jordan Peele has revealed that he's not going to act anymore, except for this movie that him and Keegan have been looking at doing. Let me just read the quote here. I knew I was, he's talking about Get Out. I knew I was making a movie for us, said Peele, who followed it up with a film titled Us, another breakout hit. I knew I was making a movie for me that didn't feel represent in the genre, and for everybody, for all the black people who were screaming at the screen, have some sense. Get the F out of the house. Get some black people in here so somebody can do the right thing. When that hit home, and I felt that, it was just extreme war. Everything else was, after that, was just gravy. Peele said the film also resonated with white audiences, something that proved to be encouraging. The one thing I will say about the unconsciously racist white liberals is that they're ready to watch that movie and try to understand there's a penance for some people are ready for. I was happy that the white people seemed to get it. It spoke to me about the power of the story. I don't know if they all got it. One of the complaints I heard from Allison Williams, she did she was on Seth Meyers, I think. She was talking about how she always meets a bunch of white people, and they're all under the impression that her character wasn't actually evil in the movie, and it infuriates her because she's so obviously evil. But she also commented, I think, that it's only white people who believe that, because there's something inherently in the white psyche that white women can't be evil for some reason. So I don't think he has been completely successful with white liberals or white people in particular. But yeah, it did move the conversation forward a little bit. There were some issues that the film addressed about cultural appropriation and stuff like that, because the fact that there are white people who want to be black. And they went a step further in actually enslaving black people to be black. So that was one element of the film I appreciate. I don't know if it went over as successfully, he says here. Here's another quote. The biggest thing that gets into an artist's way is his or her own ego. I truly believe that. I'm always trying to figure out ways to keep my ego in check, because when that sneaks in there, it F's up. Almost always, I submit to this idea that the film, the movie, the story is important. I'm less important. It frees me up to be competent. It's not about me, and I just have to execute this thing. So, I don't know. That's all kind of boring. Let me get to the good stuff. And Bradley Whitford actually said, he said that Get Out was the best experience he's ever had on a set. Peele, who made a name for himself on Mad TV and Key and Peele, among dozens of other critics, confirmed that he's thrown in the towel. I like watching my movies. I can watch the films that I direct, but watching me perform just feels like it's a bad kind of masturbatory. It's a masturbation you don't enjoy, he explained. I feel like I got to do so much, and it is a great feeling. When I think about those great moments when you're basking in something you said that feels funny, when you think about all that, I think I got enough. And they go on and play. This is one thing that surprised me about the Get Out shoot, the fact that they shot it in Alabama. I was totally under the impression that they shot that in upstate New York. It was upstate New York, though, wasn't it? I got the impression it was. And they shot this in 2017. He says a lot of the crew were obviously supporters of Trump, and yet it says the tensions not boil over in a way that have in more recent years of the presidency. He says, we shot the film with people who were of different political persuasions, and it was cool. I liked them. I liked the people down there. Here's the thing about Southerners. Let me just finish reading this, and then I'll make this point. There was this feeling of America that was still happening, where we have different beliefs, and I may even kind of think you're racist, but we're stuck here, and we're going to be cordial to one another, and hey, maybe we might even connect. There were all these possibilities. The vibe shifted. It's crazy. Even as soon as we got voted out, all of a sudden it felt like I could F with them again now that he's gone. Here's the thing about Southerners. They're a contradiction. on one hand, Southerners, some of the Southerners you will meet, and I'm speaking as someone who grew up in the South, some of the nicest people you will ever meet. And I've lived in places like California, places that are supposedly these liberal bastions, and I did not make friends easy when I was living in California. I make friends much easier in South Carolina. Now, that might have something to do with the fact that I'm a Southerner and I got a Southern accent and I understand the South, and maybe I just connect with people in the South a lot easier than these well-to-do liberals out in California who only meet a black person when they go to college. And that's essentially why I went out there when I was in college. So, you know, a lot of these white people probably come from white areas and they never even met a black person. I don't know. Or it could be the fact, I think, that maybe, like I just mentioned, there's de facto segregation in a lot of other areas of the country. In the South, I think black and white people are a lot more mixed because you got more poor whites in the South. So naturally, you're going to have neighborhoods where there's white people and black people. There's rednecks, there's poor black people, whatever. So they just mix a lot easier in the South. But there's also this thing. There's also this undercurrent, I should say, of racism, and it's just weird, you know, with police in particular. I mean, but that's a problem nationwide. So I don't know. Like I said, it's a contradiction. There's also all these white people who are obsessed with the Confederacy and will tell you. I've had so many arguments with Southerners who just believe that no, the Civil War was fought over states' rights. It had nothing to do with slavery. Although, you know, you go read the Articles of Confederation and they mention slavery like 32 times. So it's BS. That the whole idea that the Civil War was not fought over slavery is BS. Yes, it was fought over civil rights. I mean, states' rights. But there was also the fact that they were fighting for states' rights, the right to keep slaves. So let me not get on a tangent. But yeah, what he said here just resonated with me. Because I know exactly what he's talking about. Especially if you're paying some white people to do something in the South. They're going to be nice people. So, yeah, I thought it was interesting that he sees fulfillment behind the camera, not so much in front of it. Although I have to say he has done some incredible work on Key and Peele. That whole sketch he did with the guy, the Continental Breakfast guy, he has done some skits on that show. I was just amazed at how great his acting was. It just above and beyond anything I've seen. And a lot of, I mean, he has a natural talent. So a part of me hopes that he's not totally serious about not coming back to acting. But like I said, there is some, he does have some movie he's working out with Keegan. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I hope he doesn't exclusively do horror movies. Because I really don't like most horror movies. Now, there's some I've seen that I like. Like I think I mentioned this before. I like The Shining, stuff like that. But overall, I don't like slasher films, and I didn't like his second movie, that Us. I really did not like that movie. But yeah, I hope he branches out. We got him, we got Tyler Perry making all these movies. Tyler Perry's making these stupid comedies, and he's making horror movies. And I'm just hoping these guys branch out, because we need all types of movies. We need action movies, science fiction movies. We need the whole gamut of the black experience exposed in Hollywood. So yeah, let me get off my soapbox. The last thing I wanted to talk about was actually gaming related news. Fortnite developer Epic Games just bought a North Carolina mall for its new headquarters. The new site is a few miles away from its current Cary location. And in case you didn't know, Epic Games has their headquarters in Cary, North Carolina. That's right. It's pretty far from where I live. I think it's like 4 hours. There really hasn't been any updates about their lawsuit against Apple. I did like 4 videos. If you've been watching Power Up, my Power Up content, you know that I've done quite a few videos about that issue, because I think Epic Games they're grasping for a bigger status. They're actually reaching to become their own platform, which is why they are suing Apple. They've got this gaming store kind of like Steam, and they're just expanding. They're using all their Fortnite money to move ahead with this expansion that they're doing. It says right here, this Fortnite developer Epic Games is moving its Cary, North Carolina headquarters across town to a large shopping mall. It's planned to convert the 87-acre Cary Town Center into a new home base by 2024. Once development is complete, Epic says the site will include recreational and office space customized from the ground up to accommodate its long-term growth. The company says it has plans to begin development on the new HQ site this year. Epic purchased the property from Turnbridge Equities and Denali Properties, which has bought it in January 2019 as part of a distressed sale of the mall. 3 of its anchor tenants, according to Triangle Business Journal. Yeah, malls are really having a hard time. Even though our local mall here in Greenville is doing pretty good, but I know Sears closed not too long ago. These big department stores are having problems. Probably JCPenney is going to close. Epic's plans for developing the property include demolishing some of the existing structures on the site. Spokesperson said in an email to The Verge, but the company didn't offer any further specifics, saying plans are still in the early stages. Until the new headquarters is ready, Epic will continue to operate out of its current offices at Crosswords Boulevard in Cary, about 3 miles away. Epic raised $1.78 billion in funding around last summer, and it has a valuation of around $17.3 billion. And even though the company is still embroidered in an ongoing legal battle with Apple over fees in the App Store, Epic's Fortnite remained hugely popular in 2020 with more than 350 million registered players as of May. So they are reaching for bigger things. Man, I wish I could code or something. I wish I had some skills, because I would love to have a job there, even though I've kind of bashed them in the past. But I think that's about it. Let me go to comicbook.com, see if there's anything new today. Tanya Roberts, Bond girl, died. They reported she had died earlier, but she did actually die the next day. Justice League's Ray Fisher speaks out on Walter Hamada's extension. Tuesday evening news of Walter Hamada's contract extension service. I think that he's the head of Warner Brothers, revealing the film executive would now oversee DC films through 2023. Shortly after news first began to circulate, Justice League star Ray Fisher took to his Twitter account to share critical thoughts of the new deal, pointing towards the executive's involvement in the recent Justice League investigation. It's weird how these reactionary announcements from Warner Brothers Pictures, I always forget to mention that Walter Hamada was working directly with Jeff Johns and Toby Emmerich on Shazam during Justice League reshoots. The actor tweeted before teasing more information would be coming soon. So he's already said he's not going to work with these guys that were involved in the investigation because he wasn't satisfied how it. Yeah, so there's going to be a kibosh on that Cyborg movie, I guess, if those guys are still at Warner Brothers. He's accusing them of racism, which wouldn't be surprising. It is Hollywood. Despite the fact that everybody says they're a bunch of communist liberals. They do not like black people. They like money. They like money. If you forget that about Hollywood, you will be reminded in short order. Well, this is an interesting article. It's about the fact that Yoda actually recognized R2-D2 in Empire Strikes Back. Because as we know, in the prequel series, he would have come in contact with R2-D2. And there's a book out called From a Certain Point of View, and the chapter in question, which is titled The First Lesson, showcases Yoda's perspective as Luke Skywalker and R2-D2 arrived at Dagobah. The pair's arrival has been a point of contention among fans since the launch of the prequel trilogy, as those series of films confirmed that Yoda and R2-D2 had been familiar with each other long before the events of Empire Strikes Back. Despite that, neither Yoda or R2-D2 seemed to overtly acknowledge their previous interactions with each other and acting as if it was the first time that they met. And here's like a quote from the actual book. Carefully moving through the swamp while staying beneath the fog, Yoda soon spotted the boy and his droid unpacking their supplies. Even though the droid was caked with algae, dirt, and stomach fluid, its appearance and familiar bleeps were still quite recognizable. R2-D2. Of course the boy had Anakin's old droid with him. Such cycles of fate no longer surprise the 900-year-old Jedi. Yeah, it's not a really big deal, I don't think. I mean, it's obviously a retcon. Everything about the prequels were a retcon. In fact, the original trilogy, all that stuff that Obi-Wan Kenobi said about being a good friend of Anakin and all that stuff was a retcon. The fact that he was even Darth Vader, Anakin, the fact that Luke Skywalker's father turned out to be Darth Vader was all a retcon. Something that George Lucas came up with while he was making plans for Empire Strikes Back. It's interesting, but it's not that interesting. But that's it. That's all I got for today. I would like to thank my subscribers and encourage you. Hit that subscribe button. Give me a like. Give me a comment down below. If you're watching this on Twitch, subscribe. I need some subscribers on Twitch. And let me know what you think in the comments. What do I need to change? What do I need to do to get better on Twitch? I'm still trying to learn the ropes here. I need to get this chat thing working, although I guess it's really no reason to have a chat if no subscribers are watching. But yeah, I'm still working this. It's still, I don't know, still a work in progress. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you when I see you.